This right here is my Corsa. And in this video, I want to finish wrapping the entire car and maybe even make a start at putting it all back together. That means both the bumpers and all the trims. I don't know if it's possible, but that's the goal.
Here she is, my good old trusty Vauxhall Corsa. From taking it to Halfords,
After a very successful Halfords trip,
installing performance air filters on non-performance engines,
why does it sound so weird?
and then buying wheels off one of you guys, slamming it as low as it can possibly go,
There we go.
to it now looking like this, which if the previous owner could see it, he'd probably have a heart attack because he thought I was keeping this car completely standard. We're wrapping it and we're almost done. There's not actually that much left to do because we did the other door off camera.
All we've got to do is the front bumper, the rear bumper, the two rear quarters and the boot, and that is the whole job complete for the wrapping side. Then it's just a matter of getting all the old bolts back out and putting it all back together, and the whole car will be green. And I guess the longer I spend talking about it, the less we're actually going to get done. So I think we should start with the rear boot, which I think is going to be the easiest panel I've done so far.
I'm going to start by taking off the rear Vauxhall badge. I'm probably going to spray this black at a later date. Then it's time to get the key barrel out. I'm taking it out just so I can get a better tuck line behind the barrel instead of trying to cut round it.
And that should be the key barrel. He says, all out.
Now we can lay some vinyl. Doing this boot lid was pretty easy with it being a flat panel. I don't really have to worry about any creases and overstretching. Now onto the actual handle. It only took me 2 seconds. All I did was heat up the vinyl and stretch it around the handle, and then all it left me to do was cut the hole out for the key barrel and tuck it round the back. Really easy.
Well, the latch is back in, so is the handle, which must mean that the boot is done.
And I probably shouldn't get too cocky just yet, but that panel went down like a dream. I'm well happy with it. It looks exactly how I wanted it to. It pretty much looks like paint. Even up close, it looks spot on. All I'm going to do now is quickly paint over the Vauxhall badge in some satin black paint, just because I feel like it'd look a lot better in black instead of that silver. Now it's on to the next panel. Let's go. With the cockiness completely out the window, because I'm getting pretty confident at this, I thought I'd do a bit of my own kind of personal touch. So I got a J3 logo, I've put it on the petrol cap, and what I'm planning on doing is wrapping over that J3 logo so it shows through the actual vinyl. Getting the petrol cap done was pretty easy, and to be fair, it turned out pretty good.
And that is one petrol cap done.
Yeah, I've got to give myself that one. I'm pretty happy with it. Although it wasn't actually that big of a deal. All I've done is what I'd normally do. I'd just put a sticker underneath. So maybe I shouldn't get too cocky, because the worst is definitely yet to come. Let's carry on.
Now the next panel is the biggest panel I've wrapped so far. And yeah, that is the whole rear quarter. This panel actually goes all the way from the rear light, which is here, all the way down to the front near the bonnet, which is here. So this panel could end up costing us a lot of vinyl, but I don't actually think it will be too hard. If we can get this panel right, then all we've got to do then is the other side and then just the bumpers, and then the car is done. So without waffling, let's crack on.
First things first, we're going to prepare the panel. I'm using all the Hydro products, which if you guys didn't know, you can get 30% off the Hydro products using my discount code that is on the screen now.
Alright, let's do this. The panel is all prepped, it's all clean. I've gone round with mess around all the edges, bits that are going to be where the wrap would probably normally lift. I've made sure all them are all clean. I took this trim off as well, which goes here on the windscreen trim, so that's all been cleaned behind there. Behind the door's been cleaned. All that's left to do is get some vinyl out and start wrapping. Wish me luck.
And with this being the hardest panel that I've done so far, even just trying to stand the vinyl up was pretty difficult. But bit by bit, slow and steady, I managed to get the whole panel laid, and it looked pretty good. The only thing now was the cutting, and this is where things really started to go wrong.
Oh, we've struck a bit of disaster, man. The whole panel was going on, to be fair, pretty well. Like, we got it all laid down pretty decent, but trimming around the window, I know it's not going to be the best because I've never done it before, but I think I might have ruined the whole panel with this corner. I've ended up trimming it too short, then trying to stretch it, I might have knackered the whole panel, and I don't even think I've got enough vinyl left to do this panel again. So, oh no. Oh no. I don't even know what to do now.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit carried away. With how well the actual wrapping went, I kind of rushed the trimming part and ended up trimming it way too short. I may be in a big predicament here because
we've actually ran out of vinyl. Yeah, there is some left over, but I've measured it out and there's not enough to redo this panel, and it's also not enough to cover the bumpers. But luckily, and a massive thank you to Ravuni, they have sent some more out. It's just going to arrive on Sunday, but I guess we're just going to have to make do with the time that we've got and maybe start doing the inlays on the bumper. But to do that, I've got to learn how to use another wrapping tool. So I guess this is just building my skills in wrapping, which I'm not too fussed about because, to be fair, I've enjoyed this. Although it has gone wrong a few times, I have definitely enjoyed doing this. Let's learn something new.
this is knifeless tape. And if you don't already know what it is, it's basically what it says in the name. It's tape that can be used like a knife to cut really perfect and straight lines. Have I used it before? No. Am I going to use it to wrap an entire car when I'm really low on vinyl? Yeah. Let's give it a go.
So to make my life easier, what I'm going to be doing is doing something that they call an inlay. And that basically means that instead of stretching the vinyl from this face all the way to this corner, which will really stretch it, and when it goes cold it will probably end up lifting, what we're going to do is put an inlay in. And that means wrapping this top section here using the knifeless tape on the body line to then get a really nice cut along the edge. That way we don't have to stretch the vinyl and it may be lift in the future. I know I might sound like I know what I'm on about, but this is the first time I've ever used knifeless tape, and it just goes to show if I can do it, so can all you guys. So we're going to give this a go. I'm going to clay bar the whole thing, and we're going to see if we can use this knifeless tape to put a nice inlay in. Luckily, I have got a load of scrap pieces of vinyl that I've cut either too short or too long, and they're just offcuts from other pieces, so we're not wasting any more vinyl. And yeah, hopefully this goes pretty smoothly.
Well, here goes nothing, and with the time that we've got waiting for the vinyl to arrive, I guess I can perfect this with a load of practice. Obviously, we're going to use the hydro products again to prepare the panel and do a bit of clay barring. Then I'm going to wipe it down with some meth spirit, and then it's time to actually lay the knifeless tape. I hope this goes well, but we'll find out.
Here is moment of truth. I've got the inlay all laid. It's not the cleanest cuts on the inside, but that's going to be behind the boot once the car's shut, so I'm not too fussed about that. I will tidy it up, but what I want to get done first is see if this knifeless tape will actually work for me. So I guess let's just give it a go. Oh, professional, mate. Yes. Yes. That is my first time ever using knifeless tapes, and for those that follow me on Instagram, you'd have seen where I was practicing on this bit. It took me probably about 5 attempts to realise that I just needed to cover my finger, because I kept lifting the vinyl every time I went to cut with the tape, and I needed to just cover my finger over it and then pull at the same time. And as soon as I figured that out, that is it. We have got my first ever inlay complete. Buzzing.
Off camera, I decided to go ahead and do the front bumper as well, and I thought with the time that I've got waiting to the vinyl, I might as well just clay bar the rest of the panels and just get them ready for when it arrives, which is now.
And just to double up on the pressure, not only has this got to be done this week, but I've got just enough vinyl. The vinyl arrived a minute ago and the whole roll is already gone. I've got the cutouts for this side of the car, for the whole right hand side. I've got this, which I'm hoping it should do, will do both the bumpers. Obviously if I cut it in half, straight down the middle, I'll be able to get 2 bumpers out of that. And then I've got all the vinyl down this side for that side of the car, and I've just got enough to complete this job if I don't mess up. Oh my god, this is the first time I've ever wrapped a bumper as well, and it is the only time I can do it, because if I mess this up, all this has got to come down by the end of the week. So, oh my god, this is pressure. Right, let's crack on.
Now it's back on to the right hand side that I messed up last time, and if there's one thing I've learned, that is to just take my time when I'm cutting it. I did seek some professional advice, so I do kind of know a bit more what I'm doing, but for now I've just got to get it laid.
Absolutely buzzing. This side has gone really, really well. Now it's on to the other side. I'm going to do it off camera, so it should be done pretty quickly in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. That is the whole side done. All we've got to do now is start trimming and cutting the edges and tucking it round and getting it completely finished.
This really is the most important part of wrapping. You could wrap a panel and make it look literally like paint, but if you cut it wrong, it's just going to make it look awful. So I took my time, thought about what I was doing, and made sure that I wasn't going to mess up.
It is properly starting to come together now. To be fair, we can actually start putting a few bits back on. I was going to do it all at the end, but I thought just to get a few bits out the way while we're working, we can start actually putting the car back together. So I think we should start with the window trims. They came out so we could get a good tuck line, which we since have. They can all go back in.
And I'm even going to put the rear lights in, just so I can kind of get an image of what this thing is going to look like. This has been so much work, but I really think it's going to be worth it.
I think we should shut the boot and show you what it looks like. The lights are back in, all the trims for the roof are on, but I do think there's got to be some point in the video where I stop showing you the car until we take it out in the daylight. So let's shut this boot and see what it looks like. I'm actually getting buzzing now. Look at it. Look at that. It's mad to actually think we bought this car not having a clue what we do with it on the channel, and it's now here under my gazebos, and we've wrapped the car ourselves. That's nuts. The other side is looking amazing also. It's proper starting to, well, look like a car again. All we've pretty much got left to do now is just to wrap the bumpers, which I will show you. We've got the rear bumper, which is almost done, and then just the front one, and then all we've got to do then is start putting everything back together on the car and get it ready to tax it, insure it, and take it out on the road. Bear in mind, I have never seen this car in the daylight. From when we started it till now, it has been under these gazebos, and I've only seen it under these almost floodlights. So I'm really, really excited to see what it is going to look like out on the road. And yeah, I can't believe it has come this far. I can't believe we've stuck to it, got it done, and it now looks like this. I'm going to trim the side skirts, and then we're on to the bumpers pretty much. But I'm not going to bore you with any more wrapping. I think we should finish doing that and then reveal what the car looks like. So in the next clip, this car will finally be complete. And there we have it, a month in the making. I haven't been wrapping it for a month, but it's been in pieces for a month. I think I've spent about 2 whole weeks from start to finish of wrapping this car. And bear in mind, up close, if you ever see this car in person, there is a couple of nitpick things that maybe a professional would have redone, but with the time crunch that I ended up having, and with the fact that this is literally my first attempt, we finished it last night, and as you can see by the weather, it's clearly very cold. For a first attempt, I am over the moon with how it has turned out. I'm well chuffed with it. To say that I've never wrapped a car before in my life I'm really happy with it. Apart from just this sun strip, which you guys see me install from Halfords, which I think this is probably where my confidence came from, I've managed to wrap this whole car. No, it's not perfect, but yes, I am proper chuffed with it. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I did actually take a piece of the vinyl out in the sun, and I can confirm it does look a lot better in the sun than it does on a horrible, well, snowy day like this. It stands out, but it doesn't have that shine like it does in the sun. So that is the Corsa, all complete. What lies ahead modification wise for this car, I'm not sure. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Maybe we should go take it to the previous owner and see what he actually thinks, because I told him that I wasn't going to modify it. But I guess the next stop for this car is Yanomais. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.